Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 4-4 emotional 6.5 day sequence. We're going to talk about day four. Day four is right here in this white rectangle. Now, when these emotional sequences start, we do an entire overview or a forecast of the 6.5 day sequence. If you haven't watched that and you're just joining us now, back out of this and make sure you click on this, and you're going to want to see that overview first because it explains what all this means, what it is we're trying to help you do, and how to read these graphs. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to review day four, and this is the electromagnetic part. Now, we're designed to be defensive. This pattern activates our defensive design, and day four is going to get a little spicy, especially in third person. You see how it starts to elevate and hold. It's off of that 0 point and it's elevating that up and it's bringing up to that level four. So when we reach four, that's going to be doing a lot to activate our defensive design. And this is going to be happening at the bigger picture level. So the things that we all invest in as individuals and we all want to see the world turn out a little bit different way, be careful not to argue about that. That's what this is trying to trick you into doing. It's trying to use your feelings and your emotions to get you to create more stress in your life. We're trying to help you eliminate that stress. So just be aware of that. Now, combined total here, that's our first and third person together. That's going to be at a four or above a four for this next sequence. And this is worth mentioning. This right here is a mental polarity flip that's happening on the third person level. It's just a single, okay, just one of the two. It could be as much as two, but this is definitely going to create some tension. This is also going to impair some decision making. And you're going to see that when day four ends, this continues into five, and then its actual flip or polarity moment, day five is going to be a little spicy too because of this mental polarity flip. So, this good news is this week has been relatively low as far as activating our design. But remember, the 4-5 was extremely stressful. It was pushing our buttons. So, everybody continue to try to recuperate here. And day four, we're going to be on yellow alert here. Two and three, pretty easy, smooth sailing. Day four, five, six, the rest of this sequence, it's definitely going to demand a little bit more of your attention. All right, so those polarity moments are activating your defensive design, which is trying to stop you from getting along with your teammates and trying to stop you from balancing your routines. You see, our emotions will tell us we don't have to get along with everybody. Certain people, it's okay if they're not in our life, and we can have unbalanced routines that help us more than everybody else because it's okay that we are safe and we have to worry about us first. That's what our defensive design is tricking us into do. Now, if you can overcome that design and you can try to get along with everybody and make sure that you're communicating and cooperating and that you're balancing your routine with their routines to ensure that every future family is going to have a better existence in a stable society and a stable environment, well, then you're going to be in perfect balance with these governing frequencies. These governing frequencies either accelerate our aging and create our diseases, or if we're in balance with them, they can actually slow the aging and heal our diseases. Now, this is the testing sequence that we're going to be experiencing. So if you're out of balance with the relationships on the left, or you're out of balance with the routines on the right, then these are the quadrants of your body that you're going to feel some negative feedback in. And that negative feedback just has to do with, well, your choices aren't balanced. And you can see that day four, there's some fluctuation here. There's going to be a little less testing in the left lower, and there's going to be a little bit more testing in the right lower. That's the biggest change here. Otherwise, you can see from day 3 to 4, pretty much the same here in the upper right, and the same thing here for the upper left, pretty much the same sequence here. So you might experience a little flip-flop and tension or pain in your low back, and that's the biggest change coming here in the next 24 hours as far as the governing frequencies or the testing frequencies go. So this is the zoomed in 24-hour guide, and we do this guide because it makes it real easy to prove to you that you exist within a simulated construct with predetermined moments. And what we have here is we have the predetermined alignments that are going to happen today. Now, alignments are a super easy way to show you how you're in a governed reality and how your choices matter. Now, 24/7, you're being judged or you're being governed on how well you're getting along with your teammates and how well you're balancing your routines. But these moments are when there are amplified tests. Think of them like a pop quiz, and they have a little bit more weight as far as scoring goes, okay? So if the time bar is progressing through this thing, and we have a live feed that I'm talking about. So if the time bar is progressing through this and you start to feel the area of your body that this alignment is connected to, and it's not pleasant, that's just feedback saying, hey, your choices are unbalanced. If you want to have pleasant, then you better start treating people equal, come together as a team and start contributing to make sure that future teams have a better existence. You'll be just fine. You're not doing that. The more unbalanced you are, the more you're going to hurt where these are testing us. Now, these purple alignments, we're going to talk about this one first. This is the EP. That's this guy right here. It's a 3-hour alignment. It's going to test to see how balanced our routines are at the national and world level. So are you contributing every day, and is what you're contributing to going to help everyone equally? The more balanced it is, the less you're going to feel up here. The more unbalanced it is, the more you're going to feel up here. Now, if you accept and live in a place where it's obviously unbalanced, but you just go along with it anyway, unfortunately, you're out of balance too. That's just how this works. This is why it's so important that people understand what this objective is, what we're supposed to do when we commit to the team. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is this PE. This is a 45-minute alignment. It's right here. This is going to test upper quadrant, same thing. Are you balancing your routines? All right, let's keep moving here. The next one we're going to talk about is this MP. This is the 6-hour alignment. Now, this is going to test how we're getting along with teammates. And with teammates, we obviously have to communicate, cooperate, alleviate stress together, and talk about balancing routines together. If you're doing those things and you're not letting the defensive design of your body get the better of you, well, you'll be fine during this alignment. If you're not doing so well with teammates, specifically the younger ones, you're going to feel this in your lower quadrants. So during this 6-hour strong alignment, if you feel something down here, direct hit. All right, next one we're going to talk about is this EE. This is a 3.25-hour alignment, and this is going to test to see how balanced routines are again at that larger level, the national and world level. This is going to affect the left upper quadrant if you're out of balance. All right, last one we're going to talk about is this EE. This is an hour-and-a-half alignment. This is going to test upper right quadrant. This has to do with how we get along with the older members of the team, so masculine and feminine perspectives on the team that are more mature. Same thing. You can communicate, cooperate, alleviate stress, and talk about how balancing routine done. If you hurt in these quadrants, it is just biofeedback, and now you know why things seem to shift around and why some days seem to be tougher than others and why it seems to move in your body. That's what we're doing there for you. All right, so this is the testing sequence zoomed in, and you can see pretty much everything sitting right at that number 4 or at that level 4, okay? And these are where the strongest frequencies are going to be sitting today, the 10 strongest frequencies, and it's semi-balanced. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left, which means we have 6 on the right. So maybe a little bit heavier testing on the right side of the body today, but overall, I would really be concerned about just making sure that you're trying at all levels, and these alignments are really testing upper quadrants of the body today, specifically routines. So that's going to be important, but also this 6-hour alignment that has to do with how we're getting along with younger teammates. Now, again, 24/7, these are just times where damage, aging, disease is going to accelerate if you're out of balance. All right, let's end this out. So we've got the rest of the electromagnetics for year 2024. No more mister. You can come down here. You can go weeks in advance. You can see when this pattern is going to elevate. And what it does is it allows you to prepare for it. You don't become agitated by this pattern. You don't create more stress in your life. You help the people around you not create as much stress. And lo and behold, before we know, we start to manage and minimize our stress. That's what Health Reconnected is trying to do. And not just at the individual level, we're trying to get regions and nations of people overcoming this pattern. When we do that, we're about to change everything. Stay tuned. See you in the next forecast.